How are you guys doing? Today is Saturday, October 30th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, first I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Friday, October 29th. And of course, I'm going to preview everything that's going on today as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. Taking a quick snapshot of where we are in the 2021 calendar year, as there are 2 months left. There are 2 teams left competing for the World Series as Game 3 got finished up yesterday. Game 4 is tonight. Taking a look at what's going on in football, college football is venturing into its 9th Saturday of the season. The NFL's 8th Sunday is going to pick up tomorrow. And of course, we're going into yet another weekend of domestic soccer out abroad. And of course, the NBA is underway as well as the NHL, just to get a sense of the arena sports are in session at the moment. But first, taking a look at what's going on with the MLB, as the league that originally had 30 teams competing for the title now is down to 2. And in Game 3 of the World Series, the Atlanta Braves, who were the home team, would end up shutting the Houston Astros out, beating them 2-0 and holding the Astros to only 2 hits as a team. Looking out to how Atlanta scored both of those runs at home, their third baseman, Austin Riley, would end up hitting an RBI double to bring Eddie Rosario to the plate. And then in the bottom of the 8th, Travis d'Arnaud, their catcher, would hit a solo home run to double their lead. And that would give the Braves the 2-1 series lead. Going into the series, the series was tied at 1. Looking first at the Houston Astros pitching rotation, the loss would go to their starting pitcher, Luis Garcia. Garcia allowed 1 earned run and 3 hits in 3.2 innings. He would strike out 6 and walk 4 before getting pulled in the 4th inning. With this loss, he's 0-1 in the World Series. And in the Astros batting lineup, no one on their team would have more than 1 hit. Their elite third baseman, Alex Bregman, would go 1 for 2 as he had a walk. And their pinch hitter, Aledmys Diaz, would end up going 1 for 1. He had the other hit for Houston. For the Atlanta Braves and their pitching rotation, the win went to their starting pitcher, Ian Anderson. He allowed no earned runs and no hits in 5 innings. He would walk 3 batters in that span and strike out 4. He is 1-0 in the World Series. The save will go to the Braves closer, Will Smith. He allowed no earned runs and 1 hit in the 9th inning. This would be his first save of the series. In the Braves batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their catcher, Travis d'Arnaud. He went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 2nd home run of the World Series. And of course, with this win, the Atlanta Braves now lead this series 2-0. As things currently stand, they have not deemed a Game 6 necessary. If the Braves win the next 2 games, they could, of course, take the series. They are 2 wins away. The Astros are 3 wins away, but of course, this is a best-of-7 series, so of course, both teams are still live. Taking a look at what's going on, the next step for them will be Game 4 tonight in Atlanta. Because the Astros had home field advantage, the Braves will be at home for games 3, 4, and 5. So game 4 will be tonight. Game 5 will be tomorrow. All 3 of these games in a row will be in Atlanta. Tonight's game will be at 8:09 on Fox. The Braves have not decided their pitcher, but the Astros are going to start Zach Greinke, the former American League Cy Young winner. He won it when he was on the Kansas City Royals way back when. Taking a look at what's going on in college football, at least domestically, taking a look at what's going on, at least going down the list of top 25 matchups by time of day, starting with the noon matchups on ESPN2. Unranked 1-6 Tulane is going to host second-ranked Cincinnati. Cincinnati comes into this matchup with a 7-0 record. They are 3-0 in the American Conference. At the same time, at noon, 8th-ranked Michigan State is going to host 6th-ranked Michigan on Fox. Eighth ranked Michigan State comes into this matchup 7-0. They are 4-0 in the Big Ten. Michigan comes in with the same record, but Michigan State will be the home team. This will be a highly anticipated matchup. This game will be on Fox at noon. At the same time at noon, on the ESPN matchup will feature the unranked Wisconsin Badgers and the ninth-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. This game will be played in Madison, Wisconsin. The ninth-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes are 6-1. They have a 3-1 Big Ten record coming into this matchup. Unranked Wisconsin is 4-3. They are holding a 2-2 record in the Big Ten. At the same time, at noon, the ABC matchup will feature the 16th-ranked Baylor Bears hosting the unranked Texas Longhorns. Texas comes into this matchup with a 4-3 record and a 2-2 Big 12 record. 16th ranked Baylor is 6-1. They are 3-1 in the Big 12 at the moment. And then also at 12 on ACC Network, the 17th ranked Pittsburgh Panthers are going to host the unranked Miami Hurricanes. Miami comes into this matchup with a 3-4 record, holding a 1-2 ACC record. 17th ranked Pitt is 6-1, and they are 3-0 in the ACC at the moment. At 2 o'clock, unranked West Virginia is going to host 22nd ranked Iowa State. Iowa State comes into this matchup with a 5-2 record, holding a 3-1 Big 12 record. Unranked West Virginia is 3-4. They are 1-3 in the Big 12. At 3:30 on CBS, unranked Florida is going to host the top-ranked team in the nation, the number one ranked Georgia State Bulldogs, or the Georgia Bulldogs, not Georgia State, the number one ranked Georgia Bulldogs. The Georgia Bulldogs enter this matchup with a 7-0 record. They are 5-0 in the SEC. Unranked Florida is 4-3. They are 2-3 in the SEC. That will be the big game on TBS. This game will be, this will be the big game on that network. At the same time, at 3:30, ABC will feature the 4th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners taking on the unranked Texas Tech Raiders. This will be after Baylor, Texas. Unranked Texas Tech enters this matchup with a 5-3 record, holding a 2-3 record in the Big 12. 4th-ranked Oklahoma is 8-0. They are 5-0 in the Big 12 at this point in the season. Also at 3:30, the Fox matchup will feature the 7th-ranked Oregon Ducks as they host the unranked Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado enters this matchup with a 2-5 record, holding a 1-3 record in the Pac-12. And 7th-ranked Oregon is 6-1. They hold a 3-1 record in the Pac-12. This matchup will be on Fox. At 4 o'clock, the 13th-ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons are going to host the unranked Duke Blue Devils. Unranked Duke enters this matchup with a 3-4 record. They are 0-3 in the ACC. 13th ranked Wake Forest is 7-0. They are 4-0. They are undefeated in the ACC at the moment. At 7 o'clock on ESPN, the 18th ranked Auburn Tigers are going to host the 10th ranked Ole Miss Rebels. 10th ranked Ole Miss enters this matchup with a 6-1 record. They are 3-1 in the SEC. 18th ranked Auburn enters this matchup with a 5-2 record. They are 2-1 in the SEC. At the same time, at 7 o'clock on SEC Network, the unranked Mississippi State Bulldogs are going to host the 12th ranked Kentucky Wildcats. 12th ranked Kentucky enters this matchup with a 6-1 record. They are 4-1 in the SEC. Unranked Mississippi State is 4-3. They are 2-2 in the SEC. At the same time, at 7 o'clock on FS1, 15th ranked Oklahoma State is going to host unranked Kansas. The unranked Jayhawks come into this matchup with a 1-6 record. They are 0-4 in the Big 12. And the 15th ranked Cowboys enter this matchup with a 6-1 record. They are 3-1 in the Big 12. At the same time, at 7 o'clock on ESPN2, the unranked Houston Cougars are going to host the 19th ranked SMU Mustangs. 19th ranked SMU enters this matchup with a 7-0 record. They are 3-0 in the American Conference. Unranked Houston is 6-1. They are 4-0 in the American Conference. This is a matchup between the top two teams within the division. At 7:30 on ABC, the 5th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes are going to host the 20th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. 20th ranked Penn State enters this matchup with a 5-2 record. They are 2-2 in the Big 10. 5th ranked Ohio State enters this matchup with a 6-1 record. They are 4-0 in the Big 10. At the same time, at 7:30 on NBC, 11th ranked Notre Dame is going to host unranked North Carolina. North Carolina enters this matchup with a 4-3 record. 11th ranked Notre Dame is 6-1 at this point in the season. At 10:15 on ESPN2, the 25th ranked BYU Cougars are going to host the unranked Virginia Cavaliers. Virginia enters this matchup with a 6-2 record, and so does 25th ranked BYU. And the last ranked matchup to start will be at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on CBS Sports Network, as 21st ranked San Diego State will host unranked Fresno State. The unranked Fresno State Bulldogs enter this matchup with a 6-2 record. They are 3-1 in the Mountain West at the moment. The 21st ranked San Diego State Aztecs are 7-0 on the season. They are currently 3-0 in the Mountain West. And those are the big college football matchups that will take place today. And, of course, the NFL will pick up tomorrow. Taking a look at what went down in the NBA yesterday, of course, starting from the very top. And starting from the very top, I mean going north of the border. The Toronto Raptors hosted the Orlando Magic and were able to pull off a 110-109 win. This game would go down to the very end, and the Raptors would, of course, win it at the very end by 1 to get their third win of the year. Looking first to the Orlando Magic on the losing end of this matchup, their starting point guard Cole Anthony out of North Carolina finished with 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in 34 minutes. He shot 7 for 13 from the field, 5 for 6 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the foul line. Their starting shooting guard, their rookie out of Gonzaga, Jalen Suggs, finished with 21 points in 30 minutes. He shot 6 for 14 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 5 for 5 from the foul line. Looking at how the Raptors fared, their leading scorer was their starting small forward, their rookie out of Florida State, Scotty Barnes. He finished with 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 steals in 37 minutes. He shot 9 for 14 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the foul line on the night. With this win, the Toronto Raptors are 3-3. They are tied with the Brooklyn Nets and the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 9th best record in the Eastern Conference. With this loss, the Orlando Magic are 1-5. They are tied with the Indiana Pacers for the second worst record in the Eastern Conference at this moment. Jumping out to Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets hosted the Indiana Pacers, and the Nets were able to beat the Pacers 105-98 as the Pacers still look for their first road win of the season. Looking first at how the Pacers fared on the losing end, their leading scorer was their small forward off the bench, Torrey Craig out of South Carolina upstate. Torrey Craig finished with 28 points, 11 rebounds in 34 minutes. He shot 9 for 16 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and he would end up shooting 6 for 8 from the foul line on the night. Looking at how the Nets fared, they were led in scoring by their elite starting shooting guard, James Harden. He finished with 29 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks in 35 minutes. He shot 5 for 11 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and he shot 16 for 19 from the foul line. Their goated starting power forward, Kevin Durant, he would finish with 22 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and 7 turnovers in 37 minutes. He shot 7 for 10 from the field, 1 for 10 from 3, and he shot 7 for 8 from the foul line. And their elite starting power forward out of Oklahoma, Blake Griffin, would finish with 3 points and 3 rebounds in 20 minutes. He shot 1 for 7 from the field, and he would make his only free throw for the night. Off the bench, the Nets forward LaMarcus Aldridge would finish with 21 points and 8 rebounds in 28 minutes. He shot 10 for 16 from the field on the night. With this win, the Brooklyn Nets are 3-3. They are tied with the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 9th best record in the East. With this loss, the Indiana Pacers are 1-5. They are tied with the Orlando Magic for the second worst record in the Eastern Conference. Jumping out to Miami, the Miami Heat hosted the Charlotte Hornets. They were able to pull off a 114-99 win at home as the Heat remained undefeated to start their home spell this season. The Heat will go on to outscore the Hornets by 11 in the first quarter and by 7 in the second. That will be a combined 18 points at halftime. Looking at how the Hornets fared on the losing end, they were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Gordon Hayward. He finished with 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in 37 minutes. He shot 8 for 15 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Their starting small forward, Miles Bridges, finished with 22 points, 8 rebounds, and a couple of steals in 37 minutes. He shot 9 for 21 from the field, and he shot 2 for 3 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard, LaMelo Ball, would finish with 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in 30 minutes. He shot 2 for 14 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Then looking out to how the Heat fared, they were led in scoring by their elite starting small forward, Jimmy Butler. He finished with 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in 36 minutes. He shot 12 for 19 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and a perfect 7 for 7 from the foul line. Their elite starting center, Bam Adebayo, would finish with 26 points, 19 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 5 turnovers in 36 minutes. Adebayo shot 10 for 16 from the field and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. Off their bench, their guard out of Kentucky, Tyler Hero, finished with 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in 32 minutes. He shot 9 for 13 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard, Kyle Lowry, finished with 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in 36 minutes. He shot 2 for 10 from the field. With this win, the Miami Heat are 4-1. They are tied with the New York Knicks, the Washington Wizards, and the Chicago Bulls for the best record in the East. With this loss, the Charlotte Hornets are now 4-2. They are holding the 5th best record in the East at the moment. Jumping out to New Orleans, the New Orleans Pelicans hosted the Sacramento Kings. The Kings would end up beating the Pelicans 113-109. The difference would be the first half, where the Kings outscored the Pelicans by a combined 11 points. The Pelicans would outscore the Kings in the second half, but it just wouldn't be enough. Looking at how the Pelicans fared, they were led in scoring by their starting center, Jonas Valanciunas. Valanciunas finished with 24 points, 13 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 5 turnovers as he fouled out in 32 minutes. He shot 10 for 14 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and he shot 3 for 6 from the foul line. Their elite starting small forward, Brandon Ingram, would finish with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists in 36 minutes. He shot 9 for 22 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 2 for 4 from the foul line. They're looking at how the Kings fared on the other end. They were led in scoring by their starting point guard out of Kentucky, De'Aaron Fox. He finished with 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in 37 minutes. He shot 9 for 21 from the field and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Their starting center, Richaun Holmes, finished with 21 points and 6 rebounds in 32 minutes. He shot 7 for 8 from the field and a perfect 7 for 7 from the foul line. And their shooting guard off the bench, Buddy Hield, would finish with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and a couple of steals in 30 minutes. He shot 6 for 11 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 5 for 5 from the foul line. With this win, the Sacramento Kings are 3-2. That they are tied with the Dallas Mavericks, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Denver Nuggets, and the Portland Trail Blazers for the 4th best record in the West. With this loss, the New Orleans Pelicans are now 1-5. They solely hold the worst record in the Western Conference at the moment, and they are tied with the Magic and the Pacers for the 2nd worst record in the NBA at the moment. Jumping out to Denver, the Nuggets hosted the Dallas Mavericks. The Nuggets would end up beating the Mavericks 106-75. The Nuggets outscored the Mavericks by 10 in the first half. They outscored the Mavericks 33-12 in the third quarter by 21 points, and that would be how they won by 31 points. Looking at how the Mavericks looked, they were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard, Luka Doncic. He finished with 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals in 26 minutes. He shot 5 for 18 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, and he shot a perfect 5 for 5 from the foul line. And then for the Denver Nuggets, their leading scorer was their starting small forward, Will Barton. He finished with 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in 27 minutes. He shot 7 for 12 from the field, and he would make his only free throw for the night. Their elite starting center, Nikola Jokic, the reigning NBA MVP, would finish with 11 points, 16 rebounds, and 8 assists in 25 minutes. He shot 5 for 9 from the field and 1 for 3 from the three-point line. With this win, the Denver Nuggets are 3-2, and with this loss, the Dallas Mavericks are 3-2. Both the Nuggets and the Mavericks are tied with the Memphis Grizzlies, the Sacramento Kings, and the Portland Trailblazers for the fourth best record in the West at the moment. Jumping out to Portland, the Portland Trailblazers hosted the LA Clippers. The Portland Trailblazers would beat the Clippers 111-92. They outscored the Clippers by 7 in the second quarter and by 10 in the fourth. Of course, to extend their big lead. Looking at how the Clippers fared on the losing end, they were led in scoring by their elite starting shooting guard Paul George out of Fresno State. He finished with 42 points, 8 rebounds, and a couple of assists in 34 minutes. He shot 15 for 24 from the field, 6 for 9 from 3, and 6 for 9 from the foul line. Of course, with his 42 points, the rest of the team scored the remaining 50 points. And then looking at how the Trailblazers fared on the other end, they were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard out of Weber State, Damian Lillard. He finished with 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 turnovers in 34 minutes. He shot 9 for 17 from the field, 5 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Their starting center, Yusuf Nurkic, finished with 14 points and 17 rebounds in 23 minutes as he shot 6 for 14 from the field. With this win, the Portland Trailblazers are 3-2. They are tied with the Dallas Mavericks, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Sacramento Kings, and the Denver Nuggets for the fourth best record in the West. With this loss, the Los Angeles Clippers are 1-4. They are tied with the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Oklahoma City Thunder for the second worst record in the Western Conference. Last but not least, taking a look at what's going on with the Clippers' Staples Center rival, the LA Lakers, who actually played in the Staples Center last night. The Lakers would end up beating the Clippers 113-101 as LeBron took on his former team. The Lakers outscored the Clippers by 12, they outscored the Cavaliers by 12 points in the second half, which was the difference as they went into halftime tied up. Looking at how the Cavaliers fared, they were led in scoring by their rookie starting center out of USC, Evan Mobley. He finished with 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals in 36 minutes. He shot 10 for 16 from the field. He made one of his 2 3-point attempts. And on the Lakers side of this matchup, their leading scorer was their goated starting small forward out of St. Vincent St. Mary High School. LeBron James finished with 26 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals, alongside 7 turnovers in 38 minutes. He shot 10 for 22 from the field, 1 for 10 from 3, and a perfect 5 for 5 from the foul line. Their power forward off the bench, Carmelo Anthony, finished with 24 points and 5 rebounds in 25 minutes. He shot 9 for 12 from the field and 6 for 8 from 3. Their elite starting point guard, Russell Westbrook, out of UCLA within LA, finished with 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in 34 minutes. He shot 8 for 13 from the field. He made his only 3-point attempt of the night, and he shot 2 for 3 from the foul line. The Lakers' elite starting power forward, Anthony Davis, finished with 15 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks in 31 minutes. He shot 7 for 14 from the field, and he made one of his 2 3-point attempts. With this win, the Los Angeles Lakers are 3-3. That is the 9th best record in the Western Conference, and with this loss, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 3-3 as well. They are tied with the Toronto Raptors and the Brooklyn Nets for the 9th best record in the East. So right now, that is what the NBA is looking like. Taking a quick look at what the NBA is going to look like, especially as we enter today. Today is, of course, Saturday, so, of course, the big matchup will be on NBA TV. It will host the 3-2 Philadelphia 76ers as the Sixers host the Atlanta Hawks. This will be a rematch of the Eastern Conference semis. The Hawks beat the Sixers earlier this year in the playoffs. But in addition to that, looking at the games that aren't going to be at prime time at 5 o'clock, the 4-1 Washington Wizards are going to host the 2-3 Boston Celtics. The Wizards are tied with the Knicks, the Heat, and the Bulls for the best record in the East. The Celtics are currently holding the 4th worst record in the East at the moment. At 7 o'clock, the 0-4 Detroit Pistons are going to host the 1-5 Orlando Magic as the Pistons are looking for their first win of the season. At the same time, at 7 o'clock, the 1-5 New Orleans Pelicans, sitting at the bottom of the West, are going to host the 4-1 New York Knicks. At 7:30, the 1-5 Indiana Pacers are going to host the 3-3 Toronto Raptors. At 8, the 4-1 Chicago Bulls are going to host the only undefeated team left in the NBA, the 4-0 Utah Jazz. At the same time, at 8 o'clock, the 3-2 Memphis Grizzlies are going to host the 4-1 Miami Heat. At the same time, at 8 o'clock, the defending NBA champs Milwaukee Bucks are going to host the 1-4 San Antonio Spurs. At 8:30, the 4-1 Golden State Warriors are going to host the 1-4 Oklahoma City Thunder. At 9 o'clock, the 3-1 Minnesota Timberwolves are going to host the 3-2 Denver Nuggets. And last but not least, at 10, the reigning Western Conference champs Phoenix Suns are going to host the 3-3 Cleveland Cavaliers. And that right now is what the NBA is looking like as we transition through this league one day at a time. Last but not least, taking a look at what's been going on overseas, the only big matchup from yesterday that had any real significance was between Paris Saint-Germain and Lille. Lille were the reigning Ligue 1 champs, but PSG was able to beat Lille 2-1. Their first goal coming from Marquinhos in the 74th minute to even up the game, and then Angel Di Maria's 88th minute would be what gave them the win at the end. With this win, PSG sit 10 points clear of second place Lens, and with this loss, Lille now sits 11th in the table. And then, of course, Hoffenheim was able to beat Hertha Berlin in Germany, but of course, with this win, Hoffenheim is barely sitting 7th, but they're still moving up the table regardless. But taking a look at what's going on today, because of course today is Saturday, taking it league by league. Starting off in the Premier League, Arsenal will face off against Leicester City at 7:30. Arsenal comes into this matchup as the 10th ranked team, as Leicester City is also 9th. They're both sitting 8 points behind first place Chelsea in the table. Liverpool's going to host Brighton and Hove Albion at 10 o'clock. Liverpool's currently sitting with the second spot in the Premier League, as Brighton and Hove is currently sitting 5th. Liverpool sits 1 point behind Chelsea, as Brighton and Hove sits 7 points behind Chelsea. Speaking of Chelsea, Chelsea's going to face off against Newcastle. Newcastle at this very moment sitting in 19th place, as they sit 2 points above the very bottom of the table in Norwich City. And at the other end of that, Chelsea is sitting at the very top of the table, 1 point ahead of second place Liverpool. Manchester City is going to host Crystal Palace. Man City is sitting 3rd in the Premier League table as they sit 2 points behind Chelsea. Their opponent, Crystal Palace, is currently sitting 15th in the table as they sit 13 full points behind Chelsea at the top. And also, it'll be another top matchup in the Premier League at 12:30 as Tottenham Hotspur will face off against Man United. Tottenham sitting 6th in the table, Man United sitting 7th. Tottenham is 7 points behind Chelsea, and Man U is 8 points behind Chelsea at the moment. So this is a very important matchup for both teams. Taking a look at what La Liga is looking like, as we jump to Spain's matchups for today, Real Madrid is going to face off against Elche at 8 a.m. as they currently sit 3 points behind first place Real Sociedad with one less game played. So this is their chance to tie them in points total. And then Barcelona will face off against Alaves as Xavi takes over as the manager for the first time. Alaves is currently sitting 16th in the table as they sit 15 points behind Real Sociedad. Barcelona at this moment, as Xavi Hernandez takes over the club, is sitting 9th place in La Liga. They sit 9 points behind first place Real Sociedad at the moment. Taking a look at what's going on in the German Bundesliga, the reigning Bundesliga champs, Bayern Munich, are going to face off against Union Berlin at 9:30. That's the matchup that I saw when I went to go to when I was studying abroad. And right now, Bayern is sitting 1 point clear of second place Dortmund. So, of course, this is a big matchup for them. Dortmund is going to face off against FC Cologne at 9:30. Cologne is currently holding on to the 9th place in the Bundesliga. They sit 9 points behind Bayern. Dortmund sits only 1 point behind. Sitting 3rd in the Bundesliga is Freiburg as they play against 4th. Freiburg sits only 3 points behind Bayern in the table. table. Leverkusen's going to face off against Wolfsburg. Leverkusen sits fourth in the Bundesliga table as they sit 5 points behind Bayern. And then their opponent Wolfsburg sits 10th in the Bundesliga as they sit 9 points behind Bayern in the table. Taking a look at what's going on in Serie A, Juventus is going to face off against Hellas Verona at noon. Juventus enters this matchup sitting 7th in the Serie A as they sit 13 points behind first place Napoli. Hellas Verona is sitting 10th in the table as they currently sit 16 full points behind Napoli, as Napoli and Milan have gotten off to an amazing start this season. And that's virtually what's all going on in the world of sports for today, Saturday, October 30th. I want to thank everyone for listening to all 30 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with more tomorrow on Sunday, October 31st, also known as Halloween, for another episode of The Elite. Thanks once again for listening. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with more tomorrow. Peace out.